This podcast is intended for listeners over the age of 19 in Ontario, and we ask that you respect your local laws regarding cannabis.
Be sure to like, download, follow, subscribe, and share with all of your friends. Hi, ladies.
Hi ladies.
Amanda's flailing.
I'm flailing.
Hi, Amanda. Welcome.
Hi, Annie. I'm so excited to be back actually in the Hotbox with you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah? I'm so glad.
It was a few rough days there, and then it kind of went on and on in weird things. Again, like the brain fog stumbled me good.
Yep.
As somebody who likes to think that they have their shit together and can't figure out how to tie their shoes.
Yeah,
but I feel great now, and I'm ready to go. And, you know, a challenge is a challenge. And so we're actually recording one day before this episode releases because we so wanted to have Becky on the show, which means we're actually recording on Amanda's birthday.
Oh, yes, we are. It is
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
We don't even give you the day off.
No.
So.
But the exciting part of this, really and truly, is that we have Becky from the Canna beverage world of Molecule. So Molecule is really interesting because they don't exactly have like one product. They're not an LP, right? Like they're not a brand itself. So you can't go into the store and be like, oh, I'd like the newest Molecule, right? Because they have a variety of brands that they offer.
Well, why don't we say welcome, Becky? Hello, Becky.
Hello, Annie. Hi, Amanda. And happy birthday. Thanks for including me in your day.
Yeah.
Celebrations. Well, she's celebrating with a cannabis beverage.
Yes. So Becky, I'll just give you a real quick rundown of my day. I had a flat tire on Friday and only just got it fixed today because I bent the rim. Thank you, City of Barrie, and your bloody potholes. It's been that kind of day. So when I was picking up my car, I was like, there's no way that I can't not consume a drink. Yes. So I'm drinking the Via Regal Pink Grape Sparkler, and it is delicious, like legit delicious.
Awesome.
Becky, go ahead. Sorry,
that one we just had a price drop on, so making it more affordable through the OCS for everyone to enjoy.
Oh well, I am thrilled to hear that.
More
absolutely
reason to
thrilled.
Try.
Exactly, right? Like, just take away all the barriers for me. Make it taste good and be priced right. My kind of lady.
There you go. Becky, can you tell our listeners what Molecule is in your words and what you do as their Chief Innovation Officer? And I love that title. I hope that everybody refers to you as Chief Innovation Officer,
right,
Becky?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm Becky Griffin. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at Molecule. I started off as the beverage scientist, so I was lucky enough to formulate all of the beverages that are within those cans with my partner in crime, Victoria Roden. So she's our product development specialist, so put a lot of love into those cans. At Molecule, what we do is we produce cannabis beverages. We do it for on-ramp brands, so brands that we feel strongly have a position to be in the market, who represent cannabis well, who are educating, who want to knowledge share, and who want to grow this new cannabis industry that we're in into a place where we all want to be and where we all want to work. So we work with co-pack brands like Via Regal, Proper, and UBU. To really bring them and give them a stance, and so they can tell their story in the market. And then we also create our own products. So as Chief Innovation Officer, I get to create brands that I feel will resonate with consumers. And then I help formulate the products that go in there, and I choose the potencies that I think would meet with that demographic. And we try to really, I guess, curate the experience for the consumer one can at a time.
Oh, I love that, because I have been so impressed with everything within the Molecule line that I have tried. I have been so impressed with. Now, Annie last week had tried the summer punch. I did the Proper blueberry last week. I was overwhelmingly surprised on how much of a difference products made by Molecule are to other beverages within the market.
Well, it's more so what we've seen, when Cannabis 2.0 came out and, the beginning of Canna beverages, it's definitely through scientists like yourself, they are wonderful tasting.
Yeah, if we go to like the very first cannabis beverages that came out on the market, they were not the most palatable products. Is that a nice way to say that?
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, and I'm kind of glad that you guys bring that up because, I mean, obviously, like I said, we want to be a knowledge sharing company and build the industry in a collaborative effort. But those first products that came to the market, they did not taste good, and I think a lot of people were excited for the beverages, and I think that the beverages out there didn't deliver. And I'm always curious on how many consumers we actually lost because the beverages that initially rolled out weren't that tasty. But over time, we've developed our products to have minimal cannabis flavor to it, unless we want it in there, like in our fresh strains.
Yes.
But I think that we've really evolved over the last year and a half of cannabis beverages being on the market, and I think our beverages are great, and I think we got some strong competition out there now. So if anyone hasn't had a beverage recently, they should.
For sure. And you're really the perfect person for this because you were in non-alcoholic drinks, beers and wines, and I believe you've won awards for like the most awarded non-alcoholic beer. And I could say 30 years ago, 20 years ago, non-alcoholic and non-alcoholic.
Oh, even 10 years ago,
it did
non-alcoholic
exist, and it tasted like Welch's that you left on the counter. And nowadays...
Sorry, did you say Welch's you left on the table? That's so funny.
Well, that's what it tasted like. And now there are so many beautiful non-alcoholic beers and wines. Oh, yeah. And this is sort of an evolution of that. So you're the perfect woman to...
100%. Yeah. My praises go out to Becky because I'm, as somebody who doesn't consume alcohol, I often feel like I get left to the side. I end up drinking Shirley Temples, and that's really about it. That and like a Diet Coke.
Well, that's where cannabis beverages come in.
And, well, no, but just the whole idea of an elevated beverage that is non-alcoholic,
exactly.
Right? Like you're beautiful, when people talk about like San Pellegrinos that are, like a super elevated.
Are you trying to talk about alcohol and you know nothing?
No.
Oh, no, you mean like an elevated, like soda water.
Like a soda, exactly. But
But Becky, there was that first, Rocky, and now we've got these beautiful products coming into the market. How are you trying to get people to try beverages as an alternative to alcohol or smoking or eating cannabis? Because it seems like a really new concept to a lot of people.
Yeah, so I think the first is just the foundation that beverages are social. We drink all day, every day, right? Like whether it's water or, an adult beverage or whatever it happens to be, coffee being something I consume a lot of. So, I mean, we're always drinking and it's always been a social thing. What I like about the beverages is it takes time to enjoy it, right? So, things like gummies or vaping or any of that, the bong toke, like they're right there, right? And then you're done. Where when having a beverage or even smoking a joint and having a beverage, it takes time, communication and conversation happens during that point.
Wow.
So I think just the fact that they're a beverage, it makes them social. And then I think what we're really trying to do is we're trying to make products that resonate with people. And how we're doing that is we're talking to the bud tenders and we're truly listening to what people are looking for out there. So if you look at our lineup, we're not putting anything really crazy out there. We put out high quality, delicious drinks, but if you look at what we're offering, we're keeping our fresh brand. That's a nostalgic, like bubbly water, right? So sugar-free, guilt-free. That's really for the legacy consumer. And I developed all of the fresh off of Juicy J rolling papers. So
that's your inspiration.
That's my inspiration.
I love that. And as a legacy consumer, I love fresh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I
That's
am your key demographic. I'm a woman in my 40s. I am a joint smoker, so getting me away from the ritual, and I think that's what you're talking about, is the ritual. And I don't like bongs. I want to, it has to be about the experience as well, and about the community. And, Amanda and I have started sharing or having drinks together, cannabis drinks together, and it is just like having a joint. You have that time, and you don't have to compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I want to start having drinks with you guys.
well, like again, like as somebody who doesn't drink alcohol, I always get either made like directly full blown made fun of by my neighbors when we go for driveway beers.
Mhm.
Or I get, kind of like excluded from the group because I don't drink. So they might not invite me for driveway beers until I walk outside to smoke a joint. And I'm like, oh, you're all out here, eh? Thanks for the invite.
If I was somebody of a certain age that, liked a nice drink and was trying to get away from that, I would have to go into a dispensary for the first time,
Yes.
possibly, and I would have to navigate that, and that's kind of scary. It's a real hurdle, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think you know, I'm hoping things change in the future where, there's a little more transparency of what's going on, but uh we we're coming out of weird times right now, don't leave the house unless you need to, only go for essential shopping. And then we have these dispensaries that are essential, uh, but you can't see inside. And
Right.
I think that really kind of made people a little nervous. What's behind the doors? And I'm not used to cannabis, so what happens if I go in there and who do I talk to? And I think if we could let consumers see what's in the dispensaries, I think that'd be huge because they are so beautiful. The stores are, you can find a store that meets your personality. So whether you want a nostalgic feel or, an elevated jewelry store, like kind of feel to it, there's over 1,400 dispensaries in Ontario. And there's definitely one that someone will drive with, right? Like, and so I think letting them know that behind the door, it's not dark and dingy. They're usually bright and airy, and there's educated bud tenders there. I think that's the most important thing is there's people there who are going to answer your questions and who are going to guide you in the right direction. Um, and we need to let more people know that it's not like a grocery store where there's just shelves and no one knows can answer the questions what's in the packaging. The bud tenders are educated. They want to know more about the products. They're always coming and asking for more information of our products so they can better answer their consumers and their customers' questions. So I think that intimidation factor, I think it's really about transparency. We need to show more of just how beautiful these stores are and who's working behind the counters.
I couldn't have said it better.
Right?
We've said that so many times. I think if anybody who just goes once, and maybe if you are intimidated, find somebody who's done it before.
Yep.
But the bud tenders are passionate. They're kind. They're beautiful stores. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think there's no shame, no fear. And if you have never been in a cannabis store, go in and tell them, I've never been in a cannabis store and I'm a little nervous. They will take your hand and walk you through the process. Like,
Yeah.
bud tenders are awesome.
Yeah, and you want them to do that because whether you're a new consumer or, a casual consumer or a full-blown consumer, they're going to be able to guide you exactly what product's right for you on your potency to make sure that when you do consume it, you're going to enjoy it and you're going to get the effects that you're looking for.
Yeah, 100%.
Just getting over that intimidation factor. And, educating the consumer is so hard because of regulations. Your hands are tied. Everybody's hands are tied. So it is hard to get the word out there.
Yeah.
It's, a brave new world. We say that often. And, it's it's people like Amanda here who will tell everybody she meets to try cannabis drinks.
Oh, 100%.
You were the first to introduce me about 6 months ago. And I was like, what is this?
You know what? It's funny. So, Becky, I work for another cannabis brand. And when I'll be in stores and, talking to bud tenders and managers about my product, I will often turn to their fridge and be like, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And we end up going into a whole conversation about Well, I mean, I spent 20 minutes in one of the stores here in Barrie today talking about that blueberry proper I had last week and just raving about it.
Yep. And the summer punch, I keep going on about that. So I guess it's through word of mouth, which, brings us to, we might actually get to meet you later this week. Is that right, Becky? Are you going to be at the women's show?
I am going to be at the women's show. I'm very excited for it. We're going to have actually all 8 of our products for sampling. They're uninfused, so all placebo products.
Yep.
So we can start the conversation and show people what they can expect when purchasing a cannabis beverages. It won't have any of the THC or CBD in it, but it'll let you know that the beverage and the flavor profiles, there's something to be enjoyed, right?
Yes, and you can answer people's questions, and there's so many questions real time.
That's right.
I was joking around earlier with Amanda, do you just take a can of pop and throw a bud in? No, there is real science behind this.
Yes. Which I kind of wish that when I was in school, somebody had have told me that I could have combined my love of science and my love of food and become...
You could be Becky?
Well, I didn't know that food scientist was a career. Because sign me up, I would have been all over that.
Yes.
Right? Coming up with flavors of things, boom, the things we don't know, eh?
Yes.
Until you meet a food scientist, you don't really know about food science.
That's so
right?
cool. I know we're kind of fangirling on you here.
A little bit. I've been telling my daughter, I'm like, you can be a food scientist.
You can eat food and be a scientist.
Exactly, all at the same time. Now, the future. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in school, when I was doing the food technology, the innovation class, Ted Reeder, who's godfather of the grill, he was my innovation teacher, and I don't know if he pegged me. He knew I was a cannabis consumer or what, but he came up to me and he told me, and I think it must have been one of the first or second classes, and said, you really should get into cannabis. Wow. And it was oh, and it wasn't even legal at the time, but it put it in my head that, okay, it is going to be legalized. And, it's the legacy consumers, definitely. The food scientists who are legacy consumers definitely have a head up above the competition because we understand it, right? From all aspects.
Exactly.
Man, have you talked to that professor since entering into the cannabis industry, just out of my own sheer curiosity?
So we follow each other. So I got to send him a nice little gift package. I haven't been able to do that yet, but I'm going to send him a nice little gift package.
Yeah, make him so
and write
proud.
Something in a cookbook he wrote, "Get sticky." So I'm going to have to give a similar.
Oh, I love that.
What do you see? Where do you see
the future of cannabis? Or of cannabis drinks specifically.
So cannabis drinks, and so I have to tell you, this has been a wild ride. So outside of regulations and all the hurdles of getting to where we are today, COVID came in. We are all looking at the industry and we're thinking, oh, it's all social, right? And so everyone, if you notice, a lot of brands until recently were low potency. Well, COVID came and wait a second. We need to get high.
Yep.
I don't got nowhere to go.
So we really moved forward with the 10 milligram drinks, and Derek with his proper line, he words it quite well, just proper, get high, it's what it is, and so that's really where we have been, and it's been a huge success being, having those high potency products. Well, the price points are coming down, so I think that's another thing is the cannabis beverage space. It costs a little bit of money, but over time we can see those significant savings on the cans now, and so I look at it where we are right now, and I think we're in a pivot in what we were doing and where we're going. So I think that legacy consumers and people who've gotten comfortable with the beverages, I think 10 milligram drinks are going to be here to stay.
Oh, yeah.
But I think now it's time to bring in new consumers and answer those questions, because you going outside with your neighbors with your cannabis drinks, it's going to become more recognizable. Conversations, we're all willing to, I think, we enjoy the beverages enough. We see the benefits. We're going to talk more about it. And every single person who I've suggested a cannabis beverage to, I don't think they're looking back at alcohol. I
No.
think they're turning their lifestyle habits to the cannabis drinks. And I think that just breeds more conversation, which brings in more people who are willing to try it. And I really think that when you consume it, if you get the right potency for your lifestyle or what you're used to, I think that it's going to be easy to convert you into a cannabis drinker. And I think in the future, I don't see any reason when I look long term now, this is like, 20 years down the line. I think we can get to a point where we're running cannabis drinks like the LCBO.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
so much to offer and so much education. We totally did a disservice to ourselves not having done research like all throughout the test of time. Like what were we thinking? Like as people are getting educated with the different cannabinoids, we're going to be able to put out more drinks that fit more people's needs. And I think cannabis beverages are just going to grow and just be able to offer more and more to more individuals.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I am so excited to see the minor cannabinoids coming across in beverages. I am a huge supporter of CBN.
Mhm.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
And to have I mean, I've converted so many people who say they have 2 glasses of wine before bed just so they can fall asleep to CBN. Or, well, actually, at first moving them to cannabis beverages and being like, you should drink less, drink this, and heal your body a little bit. And then, hey, now that you're comfortable with THC, have you considered other cannabinoids? Right? Like, have you thought of CBN, which is shown to help in sleeping and
Yeah.
and people seem to be on board. They're like, oh, I'm cool with that. But this method of consumption, I think, is the biggest part of it. And like you were saying, or like Becky was saying, we're familiar with drinking,
Yes.
right? Like liquid in a can, in your mouth.
From the tea party to
Right.
yes, yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's
So yes, the social aspect is still there, but trying to get that word out
no,
there.
no, not even the social aspect. Just the fact that I know that when I drink alcohol, I become intoxicated.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of idea. Like I'm going to drink this and
I will, yeah.
and I will be intoxicated, and that's what I'm comfortable with
But you're going
as
to
a
feel
method
a lot
of
better
consumption.
the next day.
Yes, and no hangovers.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And I think at the women's show, what a big thing that you're going to hear from the ladies that do the taste test is they're going to be surprised that it tastes delicious.
That's right.
Because the first expectation is I'm going to be drinking a joint and it's
Yes.
going to taste like what I've smelt in for people who aren't consumers, and you can taste it and go, oh, I can have 1 or 2 of these and feel great the next morning and go play 18 holes of golf. Yeah, count me in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I say it's like for me anyways, this is my personal experience is when I drink alcohol, I just want to get the music in my bones, right? And I feel like cannabis drinks just lets me feel the music that much sooner. So
Yes.
I like that. I like that. You need that on a t-shirt. But we do definitely agree that research, it should have been done years ago. You have to go listen back to all of our episodes of Hi Ladies to see why we're so behind. But it is great to see these research coming out. And something, I don't want to drop this, Amanda, something that Becky just said that you have said before, and this is fascinating, is watching alcohol sales are slowly
Plummeting.
going down while
Yep.
cannabis sales is slowly going up.
Yep.
And that has been a trend since legalization, which speaks to what you're saying is that people are looking for another way to take the edge off. Like, we live we just went through a fucking pandemic. We need something to take the edge off, right? And if we have these alternatives that are less taxing on ourselves and our communities, then fucking right on.
Right? I'm not starting a distillery in my garage, but I'm happy to grow 4 plants in my yard. Right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
there's so much within this space of Canna drinks that like I feel like we could do this. We could probably do a whole season.
Well, I feel like there's so little known. Even like the first time you brought me a drink, and I like to think of myself as somewhat educated in the space. I didn't know.
No, it sat in your cupboard for weeks until I came over and threatened to drink it myself.
And they're like, no, I'll drink it. No. They're like, oh, is there any more?
Yeah, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
those first drinks, they were not wonderful. I'm thrilled to see the evolution of them.
I would like to say to anybody who's listening, who's on Instagram or has the internet, go check out molecule.ca. It's also wonderful to see that these products are being made in our communities by people in our communities, it's supporting our communities, creating jobs within Ontario. That is a big thing for me. When I find out a product is high within my province, I want to support that product. And we gave you homework last week, ladies.
We did.
We're going to give it to you again. You need to go and try a cannabis drink and let us know everything that you think about it.
And everybody who bought a cannabis drink last week and gave us a review, go buy a second one and tell us again, how it was.
We're going to talk about some of those reviews on a future show. And
Oh,
if you're going to
hold on. I have
show,
a Becky question. I got a Becky question. Becky, what do you think is going to happen with limits? So, one of the things when I'm in dispensaries, I hear all the time, I don't drink cannabis drinks because it's not potent enough for me to feel the effects.
And you can only buy a few.
Yeah, it's like, So I think it's going to open up the carry limits. I think what we really got to change. They say one can of cannabis beverages is equivalent. So ours are 355 mils is equivalent to 5.07 grams of cannabis flower.
Which is absurd. Because I could drink. Let me tell you, if I smoke 5 grams of cannabis, it is not going to be the same experience as drinking 1 can of this.
No.
I'm going to be really high.
Not good high. The equivalencies are way out of whack, especially when it comes to drinks, and that has to settle out in the next few years.
Yeah, it has. There's so many benefits to having a cannabis drink over an alcoholic drink. And I think that the fact that you have to go and it's forcing you to go into the store or forces you to make more purchases because the cannabis consumer who likes a fresh product, who's a legacy consumer, you might have 2 or 3 in a night. We've priced them affordable so you can actually do that. We haven't added sugar, so there's no guilt in the sugar rush. So we've actually made the drink so people can consume lots of them.
Right.
But if you consume 3 in a night and you want 3 another night, you have to go back to the store. And I think they're starting to see that. I think that what the government has done is they've really went hard in the regulations just to make sure that they were doing it right. So I think that we'll see things ease off over time.
Okay.
But I think that with how much scrutiny was on the legalization of cannabis, I think that they wanted to put as many roadblocks or I don't even know how to word it, but they really wanted to make sure that, they could loosen off rather than just have a
tread lightly. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Total. It's always easier to give a little bit more leash than it is to try and rein in that leash.
Haven't we learned that over the last few years?
Right? Fuck. Lessons learned from the pandemic. Oh man. Okay, but we were gonna say about the women's show. So if you're at the women's show, or if you're just in downtown Toronto,
that's the Toronto International Convention Center.
Yeah, if you're downtown Toronto this weekend, pop into the women's show. It's a super affordable show. It's all focused around women and female innovations and things
huge.
It's just fabulous.
But if we want to find the Molecule team, Becky, where do we 600 and something?
619 will be there. We'll have our own little Molecule bar set up, and then
nice.
I'll also be on the culinary stage with our product development specialist Victoria, and we'll be showing how to actually elevate our drinks.
Oh,
and
what
we'll be
time
there
is that at?
Friday at 2:15.
We will be there.
Awesome. And then on Saturday at 12:45. So we're just going to show simple ways, or if you want to host a party, or, you have friends over and you just want to elevate them, we're going to show you quick, easy ways to do that at home.
Oh, my
I'm so
hero.
excited.
I'm so excited.
Yes,
yeah.
we're going to be down there on Friday, and we can't wait to meet you and the entire team.
That's
and
right.
anybody who's thinking about going, come on down.
Come on down, meet the high ladies, meet the ladies of Molecule, meet all the ladies.
I love the Molecules, like a ladylike
Right?
company too. That always gets me all excited.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna have all of the ladies there. So we're actually going to have our quality assurance personnel there. We are bringing all the ladies of Molecule to answer any questions anyone has.
Total transparency.
The more I spend time learning and speaking with the team at Molecule, the more I love you guys. I absolutely adore it. Yeah. So Friday we're gonna get to hang out, and we're super excited for that.
Yep. I do think that now, though, it might be time for us to step away.
Take a toke.
Or a drink.
Or a drink. Sip a drink.
And go be moms. If you've enjoyed today's episode, you can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, try a cannabis beverage, and tell us and tell all your friends about Hi Ladies and the future of cannabis.
That's right. But for now, bye ladies.
Stay high.